Welcome back, everybody, and well, let us go on to the winners match of this group. As you can see on our screen here, it is going to be Droll versus South Park, the two winners of the group. A quick overview of the format, by the way, in case anyone's a little bit confused. This is an MST style group format, which basically means you got 4 players in a group. First 2 play, the next 2 play. The winners of those first 2 sets play each other. And then the winner of this match, so the winner of this upcoming game, will advance first from the group into the round of 16. And then we go to the losers match. The loser of the losers match is out of the group. He's 0-2. And then the loser of the winners match plays the winner of the losers match in the final match. And whoever wins that also goes out of the group. So 2 players go out of the group, and it'll be clearer once we've gone through this group. If you're still
there's
confused.
a really... Just for people who are confused, like I'm confused about what's happening now that Sale has just said that. The easy way to think about it is just double elim. So if you lose twice, you're out. If you win twice, you're in. GG. Yeah.
GG.
Yeah.
That's it.
And actually going to be Sniper Ridge for our next map here, and the winners match between Draw and South Park. And this map just hilariously imbalanced towards Zerg. I'm not quite sure who would pick this map if they wanted the Protosses to go through. It's almost as though someone was biased.
It's crazy.
I wonder who do you know who suggested this sale?
I don't know, man.
I'm not quite sure.
It's those mysterious TLS organizers who chose the map pool. I have no idea.
Obviously, you weren't responsible for this at all, but
I'm just a lowly caster. I have no say in these things.
Yeah, for people who aren't aware, the ridges on the outside, the naturals on this map, make it really, really easy for you to set up lurkers there in the early to mid game. I think we saw Bakuyu do this to G5 in Group B. And once the lurkers are there, trying to bust out of that is pretty much impossible. Well, when I say impossible, I mean there are ways around it. You can do drops and things like that, but with lurkers on the ridge, trying to attack uphill with goons against lurkers, and then Swarm comes up, and you'll feel really sad as a Protoss player. So I think the thing to really try and do as a Protoss player is try and get the Zerg before they can do that.
Yeah. So what you're saying is he should cannon rush again, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I like that plan. It's a good plan. Cannon rushing Zergs. I approve. Go for it. All you Protosses on the ladder, do it. So, with that, let's go into the game. Group C winners match. Here we go. And here we are in the winners match at the top left. As the orange Zerg, we will have SJ South Park. He only split to 3 patches, it looks like, by the way. And at the bottom right, as the white Protoss, we will have Droll.
Fantastic. And cross positions. It's hard to say whether this favors the Zerg or the Protoss. It really depends on which style both players are going to go for. If the Protoss is going to go for some sort of aggressive play in the early to mid game, then obviously this favors the Zerg. They've got more space to work with. Or, on the other hand, it probably favors the Protoss a little bit in terms of the fact that just moving lurkers to the ridge outside his natural is going to take longer. And that can only be a good thing as far as the Protoss is concerned.
Yep, and I've just done a little reveal map. So if we have a look here, this is the ridge that Keontae is talking about here. If a contain goes up here, very, very difficult for the Protoss to break out. There is a tiny little ramp here on the side, but it's still pretty darn annoying. And ooh, I see that. I see why you exclaimed, Keontae, because the Protoss has just built a pylon.
Was listening to us. He was listening to us in the future when I was like, "Oh, you need to, do something about the Zerg before they get lurkers on your ramp." One way to do that is to do some sort of one-base build. And if he goes for a 2-gate here, he's going to be at a pretty big disadvantage because the cross positions on this map just incredibly long. And actually getting Zealots into South Park's base will take forever. And by that time, he'll have Defilers, Queens, Ultralists, all that kind of stuff that, deal pretty well with Zealots. Oh, vaguely. But If he goes for some sort of tech build here, which I'm hoping he does, but no, he's not. It's going to be too good. I'm kind of sad. I feel like this is going to pretty poorly for Draw.
Yeah, this. I mean, this obviously was kind of standard several years ago. Well, more than several, I guess. Many years ago, this was the standard, but it's been abandoned for the Forge Fast Expand, of course, because it's not good. It's generally not very effective, at least relative to the Forge Fast Expand. I think the Zergs just know kind of how to deal with this. Interestingly, that's a pretty quick second gas. Does South Park actually know what's going on here, or because
he could just be making the assumption.
There's no way he actually knows, right?
Well, he could just say, well, I know how Draw thinks, and I know that he's probably going to try something on this map because it is so imbalanced towards Zerg. So,
dude,
why not just go
I want to clarify something for all you poor little viewers out there who are getting taken in by County's bias. In Pro League, this map actually favors Protoss. I think it's 7-3 overall, the new version of this map.
Statistics don't mean
so it's definitely good for Protoss. But yeah, you know, in these positions and just with this build, I'm not 100% convinced. Looks like that first zealot pauses for a second there. The one zealot by itself is not particularly good. If you get 2 or 3, it actually becomes exponentially more effective. And hopefully this probe doesn't chase the Lings into the Zealot though and reveal things. Meanwhile, 2 Lings actually making their way over to the Protoss base here. Interestingly, Droll built his second pylon as natural, which makes me, or which indicates that he's not planning to go for a super hardcore attack here. Just maybe do a little bit of harassment first and then just kind of expand behind it while keeping pressure on the Zerg. And looks like Southpark's actually taking a close third here, probably in response to this first Zealot, which I think is a very good idea, rather than taking a far away natural, which would be more susceptible to this kind of harassment. Just making sure his bases are close together so his Lings can defend.
Yeah, it looks like South Park just wanted to get that early speed, not continuing to mine gas to go for a lair. And this first zealot's getting shut down pretty well by some fantastic drone drilling here. Hasn't killed anything.
That is pretty nice here, although it looks like the second and third zealots are coming in here. One Zergling trying to chase this probe around. The zealots really should ignore it and just go straight to the base here. They're just wasting time going back down to chase that zealot. Of course, the Lings are much faster than the zealots. And oh, actually, it looks like he's just going to pull back and make a Nexus here. So yeah, as I said, just going to play this defensively, getting a Forge now. And I don't really think that was worth it. I mean, the Zerg's third wasn't really delayed at all. He didn't really do any damage. He did force some Zerglings though, so those are obviously, or they could have been drones. But I'm really not convinced about this, and this counterattack could actually be quite deadly.
Yeah, with the speed, Draw's going to have to make a wall with his Zealots to ensure if the Zerglings can get into his base, even with, you know, a few Zealots, even if he can't kill the Zealots outright, he can just run around, snipe off probes, and just be a huge pain in the ass generally. Yep. And we'll have to see how much he wants to commit to this. Making extra Zerglings here as well, so a few drones as well. So I guess he's not, you know, going all in per se, but Draw's definitely going to get a sense of this. You know, seeing more Zerglings come out of the base, he's seen the speed now as well, so he definitely knows what's up.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if those extra Zerglings are just a precaution, because obviously the Protoss might still, you know, just be pumping away the Zealots. So he doesn't want to end up in a situation where, you know, all of a sudden Droll comes out of his base with 8 or 10 Zealots and he didn't actually make enough Lings, and you know, kind of gets in a rough spot here. He doesn't really want to invest in too many Sunkens here. He'd have to kind of put them both at his natural and his third, so better just to have enough Zerglings, just enough Zerglings to deal with any Zealot incursion that does come out. Interestingly, Droll actually putting the second cannon a little bit farther back. I quite like this positioning actually. Ooh, I really like this positioning. So normally you might think, oh, I'll just put it here at the front next to the other cannon, but actually that's quite open here at the front because he didn't make a proper wall in the beginning, so he's put it back, kind of using the Nexus to help shield it, but it's still in range of everything, and ooh, that makes me so warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, he's kind of just making this human wall in between his Nexus and the buildings, sort of at the front of the natural there, and using those 2 cannons behind is a nice little defensive posture. And there's no really way that South Park can get in there and do some damage. And I sort of like the build that Draw did. He kind of forced South Park to build that third close, and I mean, you could say he forced that early gas, but I think South Park was just doing that anyway. I kind of feel like South Park was going to go ahead and do some sort of speed Ling bust early on if Draw had gone for a standard build. And because he didn't, he's just kind of, you know, transitioned into a more normal thing. Yeah, Hydrodome.
Yeah, he's going for fast lurkers, possibly a drop, because he's gotten this very quick second gas. Usually that's not required unless you're going for mutas or some kind of you know, drop play, or obviously fast lurkers, which is very good on this map. So I'm inclined to say it's fast lurkers. especially since the Spire is built to the natural and this is in the main, so it's a little bit harder to scout. But I guess we'll see exactly what he does. Looks like Droll making his wall a little bit better now with the gateway, and now placing the cannon here, as you can see. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. So now that actually looks complete. I don't know where this Dragoon is going, though. That's slightly dangerous. He's trying to push the Overlord back to the cannons by shooting it from the top. And he does actually succeed, but it's slightly risky because all the Lings are there. So it looks like South Park didn't actually react in time, but he could have actually killed that Dragoon.
No, I think the idea here with the play that South Park is about to make is he's basically going for the Lurkers. He's actually getting the drop as well. So he's going to drop Lurkers while also maintaining a contain with Lurkers and get the Spy just to snipe off observers. Like, this is a sort of three-pronged attack. Oh yeah, Corsairs as well.
Yep.
He just basically wants to take control of the game, run the game, and basically force Draw to be permanently on the defensive. But looks like Draw's trying to move out here, trying to clear out this ridge, making sure that South Park can't get a position on this this crucial ramp.
His leg speed is quite late, actually. He just started. I wonder if he forgot and then moved out and was like, oh wait, these are slow zealots. I better check what percentage my leg speed is, and it wasn't actually started. I mean, you can see the archive's already finished and leg speed barely just started. So I feel like if he's gonna do something early with these zealots, he probably wanted a faster leg speed, but well, too bad.
Well, he didn't have the +1 coming either, so I'm not quite sure whether that was his.
I think because the Forge was a lot later though. Well, actually, no, that's not true. No, he got the Forge.
No, the Forge was up pretty early. I mean, he had the option to do some sort of +1 zealot time. I think he just doesn't do that. He's just kind of doing a sort of catch-all, fairly standard build, trying to basically just get a bit of map control early on, not sort of over-tech, not spend too much money on tech and have no units, so that South Park can get a position on that ramp.
Yep,
and a few Hydras out on the map as well, probably getting ready to get morphs sort of out of the way and trying to hide from that Corsair, which is almost dying to a Scourge, but the Scourge being quite stupid probably won't catch up.
Oh man, and look at this Overlord at the 3 o'clock base. He's basically going to ferry the Lurkers over from there into Draw's main here, and there's a really big area at the top here of the main that, as you can see, is completely unscouted. I'm a little bit surprised Draw didn't build a pylon there to give him vision. This probe hopefully will do it now. Nope, looks like he just built a whole bunch of gateways here, doing the gateway explosion, actually. Does he have a Robo yet, though? No Robo that I can see. Ooh, that's kind of interesting here. So he's going up to, looks like 7 gateways, and still no Robo. Okay, there's the Robo. So should be in time. Oh, his DT actually sees the Lurkers. Oh, very, very lucky.
Oh wow, that's going to give him pretty much. It just gives him that that leeway time, because this Overlord is going to be slow for quite a while, and probably the first drop would be just.
Oh, and he's looking for it with the Zealot. Nice, very, very nice. Although he might not see it. Oh, he might not see it, but he's going to see the units here, though. Oh, he's going to block them. Ah, get it, get it. Ah! Oh, that would have been beautiful. Could you imagine if he had the Zealot at the top and the DT at the bottom and they were trapped in between? That would have been amazing. It's pretty
By the
hard,
way,
though.
guys, Sale is completely unbiased as a caster,
Yes.
and obviously not.
I'm rooting for Zerg. Just saying.
Yeah. And, yeah, so the Lurkers burrow down in the imbalanced ridge of imbalancedness, and with this late Robo, it's going to hurt Draw pretty significantly. Basically, he doesn't really have... Once the Lurker's there now, and he doesn't have Storm, he's probably going to try and splash it down with an Archon, I think.
I mean, he could easily do that. There's only, 2 very wounded Lurkers there. I don't know why he's not trying it. Maybe he's not sure. The thing is, notice that he's using his army to run around the map and make sure that more... He's basically trying to cut off reinforcements right now with this mobile army. Because the Lurkers, obviously, they need time to burrow and attack. So if he can fight a running battle with the Lurkers, he can stop them from actually, making that contain very secure. And, ooh.
It's playing this kind of like a PvT. When there's a container set up in front of your base and you have some units out on the map, you can try and sort of stop the tanks meeting up with the other tanks. And similar thing, but now it looks like, yeah, South Park's actually having to play defensive now, using his own ramp to try and stop, Draw busting on him. And Draw could potentially just go for this base here. There are 3 Selkins there, and with a good drone drill and reinforcements, probably would end up being fairly messy for him.
Yeah, I think his main concern is just map control right now, because as you can see, he's getting
there's a drop in the main.
Oh shit! Wait, he's got 0 kills though.
Yeah, no, he pulled the probes straight away.
Wait, why is there only 1 lurker though? Where's the other lurker?
I guess he just had the one.
That's weird. Huh.
We probably should have been on top of that as people casting, but
Whatevs. Whatevs. Oh man, that DT just missed the lurker.
yeah, It like attacked, but not
It
happened.
totally
That's
missed
so
the
sad.
second shot. That's crazy, man. It's not even a ranged attack. How did it miss that? What the hell? I mean,
I
and
guess
look at how
it was,
big
like,
a lurker is as
swinging.
well. Oh my god, it's killing the probes. Oh, I only got one. Wow, that could have been worse. If that other lurker was slightly to the left, he could have lost all those probes in the transfer. Oh, that would
Looks
have
like
been
it's gonna be a
disgusting.
big drop here, coming in from South Park.
Oh, dear.
Mostly just Hydras.
Oh
with a couple-
man, and the army's completely on the other side of the map.
Oh,
And the Corsairs
wow.
aren't even. The Corsairs went in the right direction, but then they went away. Oh man, it's gonna be so bad for Droll. What does he have at his natural? Okay, he's got a couple of High Templars and a couple of units. His first Alps actually just came out, but this drop is not dropping. What? What? Oh, because Droll's counter dropping.
What?
He's
Oh my
distracted.
god!
Oh man, he dropped him first. Does Droll realize there's like 12 overlords in his main? No, he must realize. He just macroed. Trying to beat him at his own game.
Unfortunately, Draw's drop hasn't been quite as successful as South Park's here. And, it's getting cleaned up pretty successfully by the Hydras in the main of South Park, while meanwhile all the units in South Park are just cleaning up all of Draw's potential macro, which is going to hurt him pretty significantly.
Yeah, the infrastructure in the main is getting taken down here. Not that many units left here. Actually committed a lot of units to that drop. But the only good thing going for him is that he has that third base up and running. So at the moment, it's still kind of, well, it's 2 base against 3 base just because he's not mining his main. But if he can secure his main again, they will be on even bases, which of course does favor the Protoss. He's got to be a little bit careful. He's sending a Hive Templar and he's not using Storm though.
Wow.
Oh, Storm's not done! Oh no, the Storm didn't finish! Oh no, so he just lost 2 High Templar for no reason. Looks like he might barely hold on to that base there, but a whole bunch of units coming into his third base, and there's only 3 cannons there and a couple of Zealots. 4th cannon morphing in here. This is going to be very, very tough to defend without Storm. Oh man, such a crucial mistake there by Droll to have that Storm so late. I don't know why it was so late, if he just forgot it or not, but it looks like, are these cannons going to be enough? They're getting targeted down by the Hydras. I don't think they're going to be quite enough. 1 DT coming in
It's
though, and there's no
DT though.
Overlord here.
Yeah, that was actually a big mistake there from South Park. He moved in the Lurkers first and didn't have the Hydras sat back and attacked the Zealots. And so instead of having the Hydras there to sort of take shots from the cannons while the Lurkers burrowed, the Lurkers kind of just got taken down piecemeal by the cannons. And I kind of
macro, by
draw
the way.
ahead now.
I think he's actually okay. I think he's actually fine, which is crazy. He just needs to. The thing is, I think South Park's making a mistake. Look at how much money he has. He's got 1,700 minerals. If all this money was
man.
Hydras right now, I think he could just win the game. But unfortunately for him, just really slipping on his macro. I mean, to be fair, it was a lot of craziness going on. The drop in the main, a counter drop in his own main. So much stuff to actually take care of. But yeah, he's at 73 supply against the 116 to Draw. Draw's resecuring his main with cannons here. I think he's completely fine.
Yeah,
playing
and
very, very defensively.
He lost his template. He'd probably have an extra 4 or 5 storms right now if he hadn't sort of suicided those Templar. But I guess in the heat of the moment, losing a Templar here or there probably is worth it. And there's actually going to be another drop here, I think. Oh, he's going to drop a few units to distract, I think, and then bring the majority of the units back through the natural. It's probably the weakest point right now.
Oh, wait, no, looks like he's going to try and drop on the natural? That's very interesting.
Hydro
Hydro bombing the cannons, I suppose. And where are the storms here? Draw. Oh man, these High Temple looks like they didn't have very much energy at all, so only 1 storm went down there. But fortunately, the units coming down from the third base may be enough to defend there. The Hydras are actually in a good position. Draw's on the wall, actually working against his Zealots now, giving the Hydras a good position. But there's the storm that he needed. Oh man, popping all of those Hydras. And does clean up once again, but I think losing a good number of probes once again, and forced to pull off the line. He is establishing his 4th base now as well, but costing him quite a few Hydras and not too much of Draw's army, although I think he did lose a lot of High Templar once again.
The probe kills really don't hurt him that much right now. He's got 3 Nexuses to produce off. Meanwhile, South Park barely has any drones mining in his 3rd. His natural is probably 1 per patch. Same with the main, it's a pretty weak saturation, only just dropping his 4th base now, so he's almost all in on these Hydras at this point. He doesn't get more damage done here. I think he just is going to be just a really, really weak position in the mid game.
Yeah, I didn't realize actually how low his drone saturation was. That's a very good point, and oh man, losing a whole bunch more Hydras there. He's going to try and rescue them in the Overlord's emergency Overlord extraction there. Not many anti-air units there to chase him down, so this one Hydra having to leg it though. The Overlord didn't pick him up. He might go back around and try and drop the main just to distract. There's a lot of cannons here, so kind of hard for him to actually do too much damage. Draw now adding on a bunch more gateways as well, since his economy is kind of stabilizing once again.
And upgrade-wise, both players fairly even. Looks like South Park now getting his melee upgrade, so obviously thinking about the late game now, realized that his Hydra aggression really isn't going to be that effective, and actually getting a few units here, trying to snipe off Templar before he can get them into positions to really, you know, bolster his attacks.
Yeah, unfortunately though, they're not going to be able to actually kill off this force that's taking down his fourth base here. Actually though, there's only 4 Dragoons here for anti-air, and it looks like Jor's actually just going to pull everything back and leave the 1 DT to finish that off. I think that will actually be enough here. A few Hydras also going to intercept the retreating ground army. I think Jor might just want to engage here, or he's going to lose a lot. Yeah, he is just going to engage the ground army. The Mutas really actually don't have very high DPS, so it's not the, you know, the scariest thing in the world to have just, you know, 5 or 6 Mutas engaging the army there, but looks like just going to try and get a favorable engagement here. He's going to sacrifice all these Zealots, but he did take down the 4th base, and I'm sure he's macroing up behind this. Of course, we did see he had it on a million gateways earlier on, so that's looking quite good for him. He's on, what is that, 3, 8, 9, 10 gateways right now. And
taking a 4th base as well right now.
Oh, wow, crazy. He's going to go 1-up over the Zerg on bases.
And this is one of those positions as a Zerg, it's really tough to come back from. When the Protoss gets a base ahead of you, their ability to just pump out, you know, those high gas units, Archons, Reavers, I assume, will be coming at some point in the near future, if he decides to go that way. Although he's been getting away pretty well on Storm so far. Might just consider doing a Zealot Archon kind of thing, but looks like this 4th base got scouted here by an Overlord that was, I think, sent down to help scout out the DT that was killing his 3rd base. And it has been cancelled, so his plans there thwarted slightly, but not that big a deal. His 3rd still mining pretty well, although his main and natural are pretty much mined out at this point. He's going to be stuck back on 1 base soon, whereas South Park's still mining pretty healthily because of his low drone count.
Yeah, I'm looking for Droll's army right now. His army count looks tiny. I'm not really sure what's going on. He's got a lot of High Templar, but not too much else, although his supply is still well ahead of South Park's here, 136 against a 93 supply. And yeah, as you said, you know, even though he was in a good position on 3 bases there, he has, you know, he's getting close to mined out. I still think he's completely fine here. I don't think he minds having to cancel that 4th base too much. In a second here, he should have enough units to properly secure a 4th if he does want that. He's got a probe here. Oh, looks like going to get taken down, but he will be able to take this 3 o'clock. It will be much easier to take. I think maybe he's just hoping to get sneak that expo at the bottom left, but he definitely has the power to actually take one properly if he wants. He's got to be a little bit careful with these High Templar though. Looks like South Park missing an opportunity there. And South Park showing no signs of going back to take another 4th. I'm not sure why. This DT, wow, with 13 kills here at the 9 o'clock after finishing with that hatchery. But it looks like
South Park have a lot of lanes.
He's going straight for Ultra. I'm so surprised. I thought he would go for Defilers here, but he was actually going for the Ultra upgrades. He skipped the range attack upgrades. He went straight for Carapace and melee attack. He's still behind Draw on upgrades, so Draw's at 3 attack and actually going for +1 shields. Oftentimes Protosses will opt for armor before shields, but he's actually going straight for shield, which is interesting because the late game unit that's important, of course, is the Archon. And obviously they're basically all shields and not very much HP. So even though armor kind of scales a little bit better in the mid game because many units have base 1 armor, getting the shields for the Archons is actually very, very important for the late game. So it's kind of a trade-off there that is up to the Protoss player which one they get first. Oh, obviously weapons is always first.
It seems like Draw has a pretty good idea of what South Park's up to here, because getting that shield upgrade obviously is going to make, you know, the Archons better, and the Archon's going to be the real sort of beef of the army when it comes to fighting versus Ling Ultra. And the goons that he's made, I think, probably going to be the only goons that he's going to make for the rest of the game. It's probably just going to be down to, although, as I say, there's many more goons, but I think they're going to be phased out of the army pretty quickly into more of a heavy kind of Zealot Archon composition.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, it's Dark Archon.
Hey, what upgrade is he getting for it? He's getting nothing. Could just be getting it for feedback, although there's no Defiler mount, so that's not going to be that useful, but obviously he doesn't know that. And, well, looks like we're going to have small group units running away from the Protoss, and a counterattack, though, onto Droll's attempted 4th here. There's, a good number of units here leaving this. I really like this, actually. He left about half control group units, crucially 1 High Templar here to help defend his base. It's very, very important. A lot of Protoss players will just kind of build a bunch of cannons, but not have any units there to help support it until it's all finished. Even when you have a bunch of cannons there, you must leave at least 1 High Templar or Reaver or some kind of splash unit, because Mass Hydra and Ling actually takes down cannons surprisingly quickly, especially once they have the crack upgrade, as you can see. So yeah, I quite like this by Draw as well.
There are a fair few more units coming in, but it looks like the storms are actually being really, really effective here. Sort of forcing the units to come off the line. And did Draw get an upgrade for his... Maybe the reason Draw's storm was so late wasn't because he was getting energy on his High Templar, which I think he was. Actually, maybe he was like getting mind control, and he's going to do like mind control.
It's funny that you say that because I watched him ladder a game yesterday where he did exactly that. He went mind control off 2 base against the Zerg. And then used the drone to take his like 4th base or something. It was amazing. But oh man, that is many Ultralisks there. Here come the Ultralisks. There's no Lings supporting. There are the Lings. Do we have a Maelstrom? There's the Maelstrom. Oh, sick Maelstrom. Looks like he got it while we weren't paying attention. And man, those Ultras just frozen in those giant orange blob things. I don't even know what that is. But man, look at him tear apart those Ultras. What was that, like 6 Ultras just became nothing? Wow.
So many storms there. Holy moly. That was insane. That was the reason. Like he wasn't converting those Templar for the reason. He got the Maelstrom when we weren't looking. So I was close. I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't exactly right on, but that was completely like it almost seems like Draw is like playing one step ahead. You know, like God, South Park. You know, he gets the Ultras out, and then Draw's like, oh, by the way, I have 1,000,000 storms and Maelstroms, so good luck with that. And yeah. They don't fare too well against that kind of that treatment.
Yep, and you know his 4th base is established as well. South Park's been on 3 base the entire game. This is like a super extended 3 base all-in here, like a 25-minute 3 base all-in. Like yeah, South Park's like yeah, that was totally my plan from the beginning. I'll just go for rush for Ultralisks on 3 base and try and kill him. Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah, another Dark Tide on the army here as well. Probably see another
Maelstrom. Yeah, could have got 3 there, I think, but oh well. You know, and the funny thing is, Dragoons are actually surprisingly good against the Ultralisks when there's no Dark Swarm, obviously. And GG from South Park. Draw advances from the group 2-0. That's what's up.
Protoss power.
Yeah, go Draw. I mean, I'm a completely unbiased commentator, professional person.
It's fantastic to see the Protoss player going through in the group. They are a pretty rare breed in this iteration of the TLS. I think we had what 4 in the round of 24.
4 or 5.
DeWalt, G5, like Enjoy Me, and Draw. Am I missing any? Probably look this up instead of sounding.
No. I think that's right.
Yeah, I'm right. Yes, we have a few Protoss pickers, but yeah, it is good to see them making it all the way through into the TLS proper, the round of 16.
Good times. Good times. And of course, South Park isn't out of it yet. He goes on to the final match, where he will await the winner of the next game. Of course, our next game is going to be the losers match of the group. It will be Napoleon versus Jim BG, aka Jim Raynor, aka Jim Bag, and it will be a TBZ, interestingly enough, of course, because Napoleon is a race picker. So that is going to be very exciting, and we'll bring you that game right after this break.